Hey guys, welcome back to another Shoutcast. I'm going to be solo casting this. This is Apex. This is Rogue versus Afreeca. Rogue, a contender for one of the best players, one of the best teams, I apologize, in on the planet right now. And Afreeca is one of the best Korean teams out there, up there with Lunatic High. So going into this, we are seeing them compete. Rogue, one of my favorite teams. I've tracked him for a long time. I really love Tavik as a player. He used to play on the account Pluppy in the closed beta. Fantastic Genji player, really good Mei player, really good Reaper player, and really good HANZOOO player, all of that. So he has a huge amount of access going into it. And right now, they're setting up a defense. Pretty standard comp for what we see a lot. You know, the Beyblade, Reaper with Ana Lucio is probably the most standard composition we see together. Also, Reinhardt, Zarya, both of probably the most efficient tanks. Reinhardt just adds a lot of helpfulness. He blocks a lot of hit scan. His ultimate is also very strong. Zarya as well. You know, it lets your team dive, protects any important targets for a time, and deals a lot of damage. So pretty standard composition coming from Rogue right now. But Afreeca coming out with their really strong Genji. Arhan, a very good Genji player. Also, just the Korean scene seems to have a lot of these really high-level Genjis. And Recry on the HANZOOO. We see HANZOO's on Eichenwalde on this map. He's pretty effective, especially on this first point. He's able to climb up on the bridge and shoot over the Reinhardt shield, which adds so much effectiveness. And it's just easier for him to get up and jump off to safety compared to the defending team. So right now we're going to see him jump above. He's going to try and get shots, see if he can get any picks. And he manages to get a headshot on AKM on the backside. And that's the exact effectiveness that you want. And he's going to right now try and take down Tavik and anyone else. Gets another headshot on Tavik and is probably going to finish off this fight. Gets a shot on Reinforce, and they're going to definitely close up that fight. Gets a quad in the end. But here's the thing. That's exactly what you do with HANZOOO, and this is why he's so good on attack on this map. Is that he's able to get on the bridge, and it's more the way it's positioned as the bridge is more in the advantage of HANZOOO. As the attacking team, he's able to shoot over the Reinhardt shield and be able to pick off people, yet they can't really get good shots on him, and he's able to fall back to a health pack that's instantly there. There's just not a lot of room for the defending team, so really good pick on there. But wins, as I'm saying this, wins and Reinforce are killing them in the choke. Rogue is challenging Afreeca in the choke point, doing a ton of damage and trying to hold them there, delay as much as possible, but both teams are just trying to generate ult. There's no big power play coming into this. Recry is the only one with ultimate. Jin trying to get as much damage on the shield, trying to break it. He's trying to corner Reinforce, which is really good right now. Recry coming down the side, gets a flick shot on Tavik. Already he was hurt by Dayfly going into that. And Arhan doing a lot of work too, takes down AKM and Unko on the backside, and then the front lines quickly falls down. Afreeca is having these really good fights right now, and Rogue needs to find their kind of cadence to fight back in this. Luckily for them, though, the second point is one of the longest lengthwise payload part of all the maps, if not the longest. So you have a lot of time to respawn and regroup. So Rogue is going to fight to take the high ground. AKM is trying to get headshots on Jin and take him out. An unfortunate Graviton Surge. Recry did not have his ultimate, and neither did Arhan. And Dayfly didn't either. So there's going to be no real effectiveness from that. AKM gets both the tanks. Reinforce gets them. Recry gets a great headshot on AKM. Unfortunately, he's not going to have any effectiveness. And Arhan amazingly gets Unko on that. And that is going to be great for them. It's going to delay Unko from generating his ultimate, and they're going to do it. He just probably needs to get out while he can. His team is coming back. Just he needs to make sure that he doesn't die. So right now, Afreeca probably wasted the resources. Jin shouldn't have ulted. If he had just waited for the next fight, he could probably combo with Recry's ultimate right now, if they still have it. Right now, unfortunately, Arhan got caught, and so did Jin. So the fight is definitely not in their favor. Rogue is pushing back, trying to force them back into the choke so they won't have any positioning favorite for them. So right now, Afreeca does have the ultimate advantage. Rogue just needs to play a little bit passive, generate their ults. If the other team charges, they can fall back behind the bridge and see what happens. I have to say the HANZOOO pick is not as effective as it was on the first point. On this point, is a lot less effective. And here we go. We have on ult going on Arhan. He has the sword. He takes out Unko with a Dragon Blade slice, and he's going in on wins, manages to take him down. He's going on Nox, trying to get him if he can, and he doesn't manage to do that. Rikai gets another, and so does Jin. So they're doing a lot of work, and they're actually taking them down. He's chasing down Tavik, seeing if he can get a pick, and he does get him. So really good by Afreeca. They're probably going to get this point. Rogue is several men down. Arhan is pushing in, but AKM manages to stun him and take him out. That's really unfortunate. Arhan and reinforce that Adam wasn't paying attention, and so they managed to get a really good Earth Shatter on there, and they're able to clean up the point, which is completely like that shouldn't have happened. So Adam, what he needed to do instead of trying to run up on the Ana and the McCree, which he was wanting, you know, to clean up the fight so they could push the payload, he needed to look out for Reinforce, who I like to call Reinforce because, you know, Reinhardt, Reinforce. One of the he should have been waiting and looking for the Reinhardt Earth Shatter. That was the only thing that could essentially help them win a team fight. He should have been looking for that. He wasn't. They get punished very hard as a team. And now it's going to be really hard for Afreeca to come back. Yes, they still have a lot of ultimates. Recry has been holding on to this HANZOOO ultimate for a little while. I've been hoping he swapped something. Arhan has the ultimate, goes in, but AKM dropping down 2 with the nano boost and the Deadeye, manages to get 2. And Arhan wasn't able to get he didn't get really anything. He was nano boosted, didn't even pull out his Dragon Blade. He never got a really good opportunity. He didn't feel comfortable with that. And right now, once again, they're forced back in the choke. Right now, Rogue is building themselves a lot of time. They're doing a really good job here. So, Jin, they're all grouping up. And I'm just hoping there's just something different coming out of Afreeca, because they're really struggling with this. This HANZOOO pick is not really adding much anymore. And just as I say that, he picks off Tavik. So right now they're pushing him from the backside. Went up the stairs as Rogue was on the payload. Going in, Arhan manages to take out AKM and Unko on the castle wall. And now they're probably going to win the fight. Reinforce trying to get as many characters as he can. He manages to get 2. He gets both supports, but Tavik gets them, and Reinforce manages to get a great ultimate. Tavik is doing so much work on the backside, manages to get several people, gets Recry as well, and this shouldn't be happening. He gets healed up because Unko and Nox are now back up, and they're there in the fight. Arhan is now trying to regroup. He doesn't want to have a split death, and just as I say that, he gets taken down by Tavik. The split death, this is really unfortunate. Afreeca needs to get a fight right now. Recry is now going on the HANZOOO. The McCree, I think he should have done this a long time ago. This is a do or die fight. Not both teams don't really have a lot of ultimates, have no ultimates, so it's going to come down to who plays this better. Right now, Recry is going in. He's trying to take wins, and he's doing so much damage to him. Doesn't manage to pick him off. He is on the high ground, trying to get some shots in. AKM and Reinforce get knocked off the bridge. That is so unfortunate. That shouldn't have happened. Recry manages to take Tavik. He manages to stun him as well. That was just a really bad start to that fight on Rogue's half. They just were on the edge of the cliff, and that one swing of the hammer knocked both of them off. So that really shouldn't have happened. That should have been in their favor. Recry takes out AKM while they're in there. They're trying to clear out the choke while they can and have split spawns on Rogue so they can punish them and get as much distance as they can going into this final point. Tavik swapped to the Mei. Very good on this last point. Rogue always seems to know what character to swap to going into this, and Mei is one of the really good ones. Has a really good ultimate for these chokes. The wall is very effective on splitting them, and they're getting ready to do this fight. So Arhan has ultimate. He's probably going to engage here, going in with the Winston and the Reinhardt charge, but the Mei wall blocks him off from the backline, so he can't do a lot right now. And the Lucio ult comes up from Nox, completely denying it. So AKM can't really get anything behind the Reinhardt shield, so he's going to kill the sleeping Jin right beside him. So right now this fight is definitely going in the favor of Rogue. Tavik doing so much work, good walls, and that I've been noticing that both Adam and Jin have had ultimates. He used his ultimate there. There was no reason to. There's no way he was going to win the fight. Try and use it for the next fight. You might not have a lot of time, but you got to use all the resources you can. So what's going to happen here is Tavik is going to wall off one entrance and then ult either right after or just to slow them down. And it's going to be really hard to win this fight. So already they lose one character. This fight is already won. The power of Mei right here and choke points. They're freezing them, and there we go. That's the end. Afreeca did get it really far, though. Good for them. That was a really nice push. going into that. But Tavik, really good swaps, really good play overall. And I have to say, Reinforce was kind of the hero on the defense of those plays. Multiple times where they should have lost the point, Reinforce, whether it be two of them or one of them, or even just coming out on the side, he had these massive earth shatters that just completely wiped the other team. And they were just ultimates that shouldn't have happened. I feel like they weren't looking out for the Reinhardt or certain ways to block it. That's generally the other Reinhardt or other tank's job to look out for that and block it if they can. So now we're going to see Rogue on attack. Recry on the McCree. Arhan once again on the Genji on defense. We see that a lot more recently. A lot of defensive Genjis. He can generate ult. He can also get on the backline, you know, when there is a HANZOOO on the other team or some long range character, or even when there's Ana right now, you're able to get on those characters and try and do a lot of damage. He's been showing he's very effective on this character throughout this match. He has been able to close out some fights and do a lot of work. Recry, I probably needs to pick up his game a little bit. He was super effective with HANZOOO on the first point, but he slowly faded the longer the game went out, as we saw that, and hopefully they'll be able to pick it up. So Tavik will probably be on this HANZOOO. Same reason. Very good HANZOOO player right there. And AKM might pull out the Widow. We don't see that that often recently. Sometimes on some maps, but no, he is going on the Reaper. Nox and Unko both doing the pretty standard comp except for the HANZOOO going into this. Tavik is a monster, so once again, it's going to be really hard for Afreeca to hold this point. I think Arhan is going to try and jump on Tavik, most likely to try and deny him and pressure him away from the bridge. And we're going to have to see how it plays out. So right now he has a sonar to see who is in the building so he can decide to climb up or not. Jin is up there right now. And he's trying to make sure that the HANZOOO doesn't get up there. But right now, AKM is trying to give him space and goes up there. But they all rush into the room and they all get taken out. So that was kind of strange of Rogue. I feel like they rushed that too quickly. Even though AKM does manage to take out Adam, and the spawns for the attacking team are significantly farther. So those deaths matter more. But AKM does get picked. That's a little unfortunate. So the attacking team might have a small delay going into this. They're playing up, though, trying to see if they can get anything. They have to play back, though. Due to Adam dying, they had to play back because they can't play up on the point, especially when the attacking spawn is closer. Tavik over on the side, trying to get as much damage. And as I thought, Arhan is on him, trying to do as much damage as he can. Reinforce gets charged, misses his ultimate, doesn't get a lot there, and he has to play back over on the side. AKM, though, is doing work on the side, kills Recry, but Unko gets taken out by Adam. Adam is taking out both Reinforce and Unko. The tanks are doing a lot of work, but AKM, just as I'm saying that, he manages to evade the Earth Shadow with his invincibility, but he does get taken down by Arhan. But they're probably going to lose the point on this next push. Rogue isn't being as effective as on the first push that Afreeca was, but since the spawns are so far away and so many of Afreeca died, especially at separate times, it's going to be hard. Unko does have ultimate. He's probably going to buff the McCree. AKM is going to do a lot of damage. They know that Adam no longer has Earth Shatter. It was used, and Unko does so much damage, lands the shot, and also clears up the other the McCree as he's ulting. But Arhan, just with the nano boost, goes in and does a ton of work. AKM, though, is getting a triple going into this, and he didn't even use his ultimate. That is actually very surprising. So Unko and AKM never used their ultimate. Somehow Rogue won that fight without using any ultimates. That is very strange. Arhan Dayfly did so much work with the combinations of the Nano Boost and Dragon Blade. The Deadeye, yes, was cancelled by Unko and Tavik combining their shots together. So good for them. Tavik on the HANZOOO, try and get a pick. He has his ultimate, so does Wins. They can do a lot of work here. They can combine it. He's shooting up his ultimate just as Wins puts on his ultimate. They only managed to get one. They get Yes Man, but Yes Man used his ultimate, so most of his team was able to survive. But Tavik doing so much work, kills Dayfly. Unko also kills Adam. Unko is doing a surprising amount of good picks throughout this match. And AKM gets AKM and Tavik get taken out. Arhan has just been playing this game so well on these duels and small skirmish fights. He managed to take down both players. He's going to hide down on the low ground and come up and peek and see where they are. They're pushing up Rogue. Right now they're pushing up. They know that a lot of Afreeca had died in that fight, so they're able to push up, and AKM and Tavik will get there in time. Tavik intelligently swaps off the HANZOOO since he no longer had ultimate. They don't have the Graviton Surge combo. It's hard to get that positioning now compared to the first point, and they're actually to do a lot of work. Reinforce charges so well, manages to get the ulting Arhan, and now they're going to lose a lot of momentum here on Afreeca. So Dayfly uses his ultimate on Adam, I believe, but once again, Reinforce with an amazing charge drags him back to the spawn, and he's going to get taken out while staying alive. Tavik was a little far out and gets picked off, but that's the thing about Reinforce that he does really well is he'll charge priority targets back into his team. He'll do a defensive charge, essentially. He'll turn around onto people that are diving his team or someone who's honor boosted, specifically tank honor boosted characters, and he'll so accurately pin them back into his team either to kill them or to isolate them from the rest of the team so that their other team can't heal it or defend it. So AKM wins right now, waiting for people to come up. They're holding the choke. They're trying to get the point. Really good ultimate by Adam and a Lucio ult combo with that, so they're not able to finish off Adam. And this fight is slowly falling out of Rogue's favor, and Afreeca is going to take this. Arhan managed to take Tavik. Unko is on the run, trying to survive. He's definitely going to be picked off here. And he managed to miss the dash, but Arhan's still going to clean that up. Really good fight from Afreeca. If Adam had just taken a little bit more damage, he wouldn't have gotten the charge off. But great Lucio ult by Yes Man. The sound barrier just had just enough health to save him. Tavik trying to do as much damage as he can, but Arhan had that pocket on him, healing him and gave him the nano boost. So right now Afreeca is having some really good fights here. They're doing a ton of damage. Unko is on the run, pleading, don't kill me, but Recry takes him out. And we see Recry now on the Reaper doing a ton of work. AKM is now on the McCree instead of the Reaper himself. They're able to get on the wall. I think they're wanting to get on the high ground with McCree, put him on top of the wall. Since they push the payload so far up, they can get on top of the castle wall and overlook the bridge. And even if they don't, they're able to get on the far side of the bridge. So there's a lot of good, healthy positions for them. And not only that, McCree is really good against the Beyblade comp that Afreeca has set up. You can flashbang it. So I actually really like this pick. Recry trying to get on the point if they can. Wins. Seems like he was still ulted, and Arhan doesn't get a lot of work done. He was trying to hit both tanks. AKM nano boosted once again. McCree with a nano boost is very efficient, more efficient than a lot of people would like to believe. A lot of people put on Genji, on Reaper, on Reinhardt or Winston, but when you have a player like AKM, it was so accurate with his shots, sometimes it's just as good, if not better, to put on your McCree. And AKM is just on fire, doing so much work. With the nano boost, he managed to get several people, and even now he goes in, and this is going to force Afreeca they won't be able to hold the choke now. This is going to be a very hard fight for Afreeca to hold. They also Recry swapped over to the McCree. Arhan just went to the Mei. It's going to take a while for them to generate ultimates. AKM going on with the ultimate. He's speed boosted. He gets stunned though by a really good flashbang. And let's see if they can finish off. Reinforce gets a great ultimate. They managed to take down 4. And they're going to try and take down the support on Yes Man. And it seems like they'll be able to close out the fight. Arhan gets knocked away by Wins to close out the fight. So really good fight by Rogue right there. And good victory for them. So Rogue is just showing that they're so quick at adapting with their picks and their plays. So excellent job by them. One of my favorite teams to watch. Just seeing every map, they have unique strategies with the Bastion. They were one of the few people to innovate the Mei. And just overall excellent job. And likewise, good job on Afreeca. Their plays are very outstanding. Arhan, amazing Genji player, was 2v1ing, was doing so much damage. And overall, a great match. So the Apex series is getting very exciting. One of the next matches is Lunatic High versus Envious, and I'm very excited to see those matches. So until then, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you all later.